Andy? I am doing alright. And yourself? Well, doing alright. As much as I can be, that is. Huh. That is weird. Glad it's all sorted out, though. Be kind of a pain for it not to be sorted out. I gotta sort out my PC problems with my old computer. Get that up and running again. Did that just break? Huh. Sounds like you need a heating unit. That was strange. Oh yes, forgetting power test. Well, I mean, as long as it works, man, that is the most important thing. Woo! Too bad this is a customer repair. Eventually I'll have enough money to do like those buying faulty items on eBay videos. And we'll get to see like if I get any free SSDs or anything. Yeah, PS5 HDMI. I have a Switch that I gotta repair too, but a little bit spooked to repair it because I don't have any M92s, and I have a funny feeling that it's M92. What? Don't advise what? The eBay repairs? This does white light. Well, see, here's the thing that I've learned with eBay, because I do it. I buy stuff off of eBay and repair it when I get the time. Just lately I have not had the time to be able to do that kind of stuff. But here's the big thing with that. I go through, and if it's worth fixing up, I fix it up, and then I put it in my family's game store and have the game store sell it. Okay? If it's not worth fixing up, I use it for parts. because I don't know, $30 for a Game Boy on eBay. My family's shop sells it for $90 when it's fully refurbished. If it's gonna cost me more than, I don't know, $20 to fix it up, it's not worth it. But then I get a Game Boy board that I can. Booter's gonna be teaching me to look into the modding stuff. So at that point, I'd have a Game Boy board to do like an IPS screen update or upgrade on. But that's down the line. Like, I have so much repairs to do that it's kind of one of those things where the buying for eBay stuff or from eBay stuff would just be pure fun. And you never know, you get lucky sometimes. Like, I actually bought a lot of broken N64 games, and I think I paid like $100 for the 6 games. Now, way over what anyone would logically pay. But the store who sold it to me didn't test the games. So 4 out of the 6 worked right off the bat. So I literally had to clean them up, and I went and put them up for sale. And it was like Super Mario 64, Super Smash Bros. 64, Harvest Moon 64, Mario Party 1 and 2, and like Mario Golf. So I paid $100, put it on the shelf for sale. Dude, by the time all is said and done, you were looking at 90, 150, 190, 230, 270, almost $300 that literally went into the shop for a lot of games that I paid $100 for that was supposed to be broken. And when I tried reaching out to the company, I'm like, hey, you sold me working games as broken. They're like, no, we sold you broken games. I'm like, no, I just tested them. Here's a video of them working. And you're like, oh, good for you. It's like, do you want them back? No. Okay, cool. And they're all legitimate ones too, so why I was turned down and everything, I have no clue. Any game store could really have sold those titles, so why this guy's store didn't want to, I couldn't tell you. And even if I did like profit or loss kind of stuff, honestly, even if I put a loss at, that's still kind of a win. Because for like every Game Boy or Game Boy Color or Game Boy Advance or whatever console I put out, like that's another console that I put out that someone will buy fully functional with games and everything else. So even my losses would become wins from that kind of stuff. Hello, Ace. How is you? Ah, these ones. I am alive. Some would say that is a good thing, others probably not so much. Any of my customers, though, probably want me to stay alive long enough to at least fix their consoles, so I know I at least got 2,000 people that want me to stay alive for a bit longer. I think that's like one of the weirdest ways to look at it. Oh, damn. Well, that's not good. Do you know how much that would cost you in roaming fees, man? Like, Jesus, I didn't even know they had that kind of plan. Oh, well, that's good. Oof, I feel like that is a bit of a burn considering I only have you in chat. Not even famous enough to have more than 2 people in my chat at a time. Now, children, be nice. Something feels off about this. Whoa, a gulp. Well, damn. Bad luck. Okie dokie, okie dokie, artichoke, do 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 do. Well, all those pins are on there nice and solid. Hurrah. Ah, so he's a horny goat. Machina! Okay, goal is to make as much money as possible in the next couple of nights. Why? Because, well, I need to pay bills. Wheezy! It ain't easy being wheezy, wheezy. Wheezy, wheezy, wheezy. Alright, spread some of the coater liquid metal. I think this is more than enough. It should spread nicely. And how is the Wheezy today? Is the Wheezy good? Did the Wheezy get to have ice cream? Ice cream is always best. I appreciate it, Ace. Glad to see you. Enjoy your aliens. Because he's got aliens. Aliens. Didn't you know? Ace Console Repairs is an alien refuge. He watches them daily like a creeper. One, two, three. Yeti. Oh, hello. I'm not Ace, but hello. Boop, boop, boop. Drop back down. Okay, I have to listen to music now. Come on, your arms and nipples. Same cool. You fixed a PS5? That's awesome! Why would you drop the soldering iron on your privates though, mate? Are you trying to make yourself a cyborg? A lot of extra maintenance. Wait, Sean helped you with one? Which Sean? Okay, we need to know which Sean. Causeway, Shakir, Chalky Milk? Chalky Milk is always good. I approve. Chalky Milk. I lost me bit driver again. This is a tri-wing. Massive goat. Brown Sean. I don't know which Sean is brown. I don't think I've watched any of the Seans who are brown. Massive goat. Alright. Brown Sean. Which Sean is brown? Wait a minute. Brown Sean. Shakir! Shakir's the brown Sean. Yeah? Although, isn't he, like, Indian? Well, Shakir is, like, Indian. Telling me he's American does not help in any way, shape, or form. It just tells me that he is one of the other people who happen to do repair work, whose name is Sean. I'm going with Shakir. That's my final answer. Ah, shake a bar. So you have the furry help you, huh? I see. Why is that uneven? That's in the right spot. That's in the right spot. Plate must be bent. Don't matter to me. It'll go down all the same. Changing to Macian. I don't know. He might be becoming a Mara-Ison. I don't care, I just want to listen to my music. What's some good music to listen to? Hello, Janet. Excuse me. Okie dokie, I shall do that, Ace. I listen to all of you. You are all more knowledgeable than I am. Except for when you're not. Then I only pretend to listen to you. You know, it's called being polite. Man, dusting this out tomorrow is gonna be fun. I don't spread my liquid metal. Well, that's not true. I do spread it a little bit, but I make sure that the APU has liquid metal able to spread itself. I don't sit there trying to get it evenly spread when I put it down. Got some cool tools coming in tomorrow. We're gonna see if they work. It's actually a SOC. You're gonna have to elaborate. I don't really know acronyms, dude. SOC. Don't know what SOC means. I'll probably feel like a moron after you say it. Okay, NGX. What's SOC mean? Why is Ace deflecting? Someone answer me. I need to know. System on chip. Oh, so you'll tell Wheezy but not me, Ace? Ah. Okay. I still need a little bit more elaboration because system on chip, that literally narrows it down to any processing chip. Hey, Final Man. I have no clue. Well, I mean, all APU stands for is Accelerated Processing Unit. So calling it a system on chip or an accelerated processing unit or a computerized processing unit, does it make a difference? If PlayStation calls it an APU in their documentation, I'm gonna call it an APU because it'll make life easier when looking at well, APUs are also supposed to have RAM combined in there too. But I mean, if Sony calls this an APU, I'm gonna stick with calling it an APU because if I ever get documentation from Sony or through someone else that is Sony's documentation, it'll be so much easier to reference just calling it an APU like they do. I mean, hell, 90% of them have been SoCs then for like 30 years now, if not more. They use RAM, they don't harbor RAM. Oh, fair. That's fair enough. Who was the company that was describing it as such? One of them said that they were able to utilize it faster because it has onboard category for RAM or something stupid like that. And it's like, I don't understand how you can categorize random access memory to a processing unit, but you can categorize how it's used. One of those commercials that or advertisements for it that made it seem like someone that didn't understand how it worked wrote the commercial to tell you how it worked. Then again, I don't know how the electronics work. I just know how to fix them. I'm telling the story. I can't remember who it was. I feel like it was Microsoft who made the stupid comment. Well, NGX can tell me more in depth at a later time because I would love to learn about this stuff a lot more than I can right now. I am not in the state of mind to learn anything right now, man. I'm still not feeling well. Like, I added more stress today, so. Now, we're not going to really do the wiggle test on this because I don't know if you can see it, but this is loose. So I think that would actually affect the wiggle test more than the port itself. I do have to eventually replace this. Maybe we'll do a gentle wiggle test just to make sure that all the pins are connected. Because even though all the pins were connected on the board, there's always a possibility for a defect. Oh, cool! I didn't know the Western Digital Blacks had a little light that lit up. You know what a wiggle test is, Ace. You goofy goober. It is the technical savvy term, and I just lost my teeny tiny little screwdriver. Oh, fuck me. There's nothing wrong with double checking your work. I would rather double check my work now than the guy come back later and go, well, it's not working again. And it's like, yeah, I know I fixed that, dude. Let's see. Wiggle test. And she starts off because I wiggled the HDMI cord too hard. Let's see if we just do up and down like normal. And we don't break the cord. As I shut the thing off. Fuck. Although I want to know why there was no audio. And that's fine, Ace. I mainly do the wiggle test as a reassurance that I don't have any loose connections. You know? It's less a doubt in my abilities, more of a let me just triple check that everything is going to line up kosher. You know, to each their own. I know plenty of people that won't. I know plenty of people who won't even check their pins after they've soldered them. They're like, nope, I soldered it. I know it's good. It's like, I'm gonna check my pins because even though I'm pretty confident in my soldering capabilities and my hot swaps, it never hurts. What's the worst thing that happens? You find a pin that's, you know, loose and you quick solder it down before it becomes a problem? Oh no. It's like I also know people that won't even clean their HDMI cords in between tests. Oh, there we go. Audio. See, I just make sure that I'm not going to have an issue. See? Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. That's not going to have any issues. I had a customer today drop off an Xbox Series X. I'm really kind of happy about this customer because he dropped off a Series X and had called earlier saying he had an Xbox One S. So I quoted him for an Xbox One S, which, you know, it's $120 for an HDMI port repair on an Xbox One S. It's $150 repair on a Xbox Series S. So, you know, there's a minor difference. Guy brings in the Series S and he's like, yeah, I called earlier about this One S. And it's like, that's a Series S. And he's like, oh, damn, I'm sorry about that. He's like, hey, no, it's cool. You're not the first one to call it a 1S. Probably won't be the last. Just a heads up, they are $150 for that service. They're not $120. He's like, oh, yeah, no, that's cool. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll put it in the queue for you. I have to take my Google business listing down temporarily. I just have a 30-day warranty on my stuff, Machina. Maybe in the future I will extend it to a longer warranty period, but as things sit right now, I got no reason to. Because honestly, after 30 days, if you have an issue with, a repair, it's probably something that you did, to be honest. Even if it's just wear and tear, because, like, any legitimate problems are usually going to show up within 30 days of that repair. Now, to be fair, you start taking into calculations more complicated jobs, like red light of death 360s, green light of death, and yellow light of death PS3s, then I can see why those would have a longer warranty, because those are something that are not going to die within 30 days. But they could die within 3 months. Right, Ace? You think it's more likely that yellow light PS3s are going to die within 3 months if they have issues compared to 30 days? 6 months on all repairs. Jesus, man. But that's a warranty, right? We're not talking like an insurance gig. It's warranty. So they can't go jack up their HDMI port repair and then come back to you and whine about it, right? Six months. See, I was thinking of doing a 1-year warranty on my stuff. Because, I mean, manufacturer defect is 1 year. So I did not really see a problem with 1 year. I just got to figure out the best way to legally word a warranty. Because last thing I want, only want the work you did not on the hardware you used. That is fair. Well, see, I'm trying to find a kind of universal warranty that I could utilize. And I say universal loosely. I want a warranty that could be shared between my family's game store and my repairs. So, like, if you buy a console for my family's game store, right? And within X amount of time, you run into an issue with it that cannot be associated with wear and tear, because obviously, you're going to use it, then it would have a limited warranty that you can get a repair done for less than what a normal would do. I would say 30 days is the universal one. I don't really know many companies that aren't private owned, or that aren't private owned, that issue a 90-day warranty on their stuff outside of purchase or something. Plus, when I asked, like, Coder and all of them were like, no, 30 days. And don't warranty HDMI repairs. It's like, why would I not warranty HDMI repairs? To repair, I did it. I did my job well. Maybe I'll think of it better closer to 2026. Because I have way too much stuff on my plate right now to focus on warranty repairs anyway, or rewriting warranties anyway. So interesting. Yeah, I'll have to look into it more. Because I gotta definitely figure out a good warranty period that I am more comfortable with advertising. I'm not uncomfortable with advertising a 30-day warranty, but I do want to give someone a better reason to shop with me other than I do my job good, I'm cheap, or I'm cheaper than the other guys, and it's guaranteed a working product, or guaranteed a good job. Makes sense, Ace. Like, eventually I'm also going to get in here clean enough that I can actually throw a couple of ultrasonics in this work area and run the plastics through ultrasonic. That makes sense, Machina. This was the other one I wanted to clean or work on. Cool. Interesting. Night, Ace. Oh, okay. Before I do another PS5, I'm taking 30 seconds to do this Pokemon Sapphire. Voltage reading, because I don't know where my battery tester went. Probably just sitting somewhere. Okay, so voltage reading, positive, negative, 0.000, so dead battery. Positive, negative, 3.32, so good battery. Yay! Kinda wish I had a way to make my own nickel plating. But we'll suffer for a bit. Salty water tank, PSU, and some nickel sacrificial anode. Why would I want to go through all that? I could just buy nickel, or I could just buy sheets of nickel and cut them. So I should correct myself and say I wish I had a setup where I can cut nickel strips right now. Because nickel strips are not that expensive to get a hold of. You know, I just don't like bending these ones that come pre-done. I'd rather have ones that are actually like bent. I mean, I do. You see these nickel strips that are spot welded to the coin cell batteries, right? So the ones that originally come in the thing Oh, not replate. Yeah, replace. See how they're bent? I just don't like having to bend them myself, because they come flat. Plus, this is a Maxell battery. I'd love to just buy straight from Maxell, but I can't ever get them on the phone to actually buy from them. Every time I get them on the phone, they're like, "Oh, let me connect you to the battery department." It's like, please don't. They never answer me. And sure enough, they connect me, and sure enough, I don't get an answer. Get some voicemail. It's like, I just want to buy a few million batteries from you. Like, come on. Now, eventually, I do want to replate the gold contacts on some of these cartridges, and I found out how to do that. But that's like way down the road. That's a level of commitment to refurbishment on these cartridges that I know for a fact not many others, if anyone, would be willing to do. So I think it'd be really cool to actually replate these with gold, or do gold replating on cartridge pins. Oh yeah, definitely expensive. I looked into it, and it's definitely going to cost me a crap load of money. That's why it would be one of those pins like this would not need to be replated. But like pins that are like heavily corroded or damaged, I would replace those. Or ones that people use Brasso with, because Brasso may polish brass and other metals, but it actually ruins the finish or the coating on the pins, I've noticed. Like all the ones that have had Brasso or another metal polish on them, they may work better, but they're dull. Or the coating is stripped away completely and it's no longer plated and it is just silver. Now, I left my modded Game Boy Advance that I use for testing off my bench, so we're just gonna have to test that this works at a different time. But there's a Pokemon Sapphire that goes up for sale tomorrow. Yeah, except I would treat all cartridges of the same value. I'm one of those weirdos that's like, well, an N64 cartridge is an N64 cartridge. You never know when one of those cartridges are going to go from a $5 cartridge to like a $30 or $50 or $60 or $100 cartridge. Hell, I remember when you couldn't grab, Super Bowling for like 20 and 30 bucks. Then just gradually over time, it's now like $100 and some odd cartridge. Find it goofy because it's not like it's a rare game or anything. Or Conker's Bad Fur Day is a great one. $160 cartridge. I remember when that thing was barely like 30 bucks. No, then again, the more people support scalpers, the higher prices go. That's how it's always worked. And they all get butthurt when stores like, yeah, I sell it for $30. Let me give you 15. I know exactly. Conkers isn't rare, but you're looking anywhere from $100 to $160 for that cartridge for a legitimate copy. And it's all because of scalpers and eBay and Facebook resellers. You know, I remember when stores, including my own, my family's store, was selling that game for like 30 and 40 bucks. But people wouldn't sell it back to us because it's like, well, it's a $30 game. You know, here's $15 cash or $20 store credit. You know, sometimes it was like $10 cash or $20 store credit, depending on, you know, when it waived. And then people are like, yeah, but I paid 30. And it's like, yeah, you did. You also played it, you enjoyed it. Now, a while later, you want to sell it. So, here you go. So then they go resell it themselves on eBay or something. And they put like 35. So that way eBay takes their 10% or some crap. And they get their $30 back. And then that's how prices go up. And people don't really care about it until they go, why is the game cartridge so expensive? I don't get it. And it's like, this is why. Uno momento, peoples. Yeah, Machina, I really don't. I don't think people really comprehend how economics works sometimes. Like, and then you get the ones that defend themselves doing it, too. It's like, dude, I'm talking to you from inside of the gaming industry as someone who sees how people like eBay and Facebook resellers affect real stores. You know, just because of the fact, you went on price charting and you gave the guy 50% of price charting so that way you could resell it at what price charting says. That doesn't really do anything except just prove my point. You don't have a store, you don't have employees, you don't have expenses to pay for using this. So yes, a store will never pay you 50%. Now don't get me wrong, we pay 50% on some titles, like Mario, Zelda, Donkey Kong, Pokemon. Usually we pay like 50% cash, 75% store credit in most cases. Depends on the condition and that stuff. But, they're titles that I know for a fact they're gonna sell. And I don't have to put any effort into selling them, and the price is not gonna drop, in the time period of it selling. So if the cartridge is a $100 cartridge, and I offer you $50 cash or $75 store credit because I know that this thing is gonna sell, that's way more generous than any company I've spoken to. Every company I've spoken to is like, that is way too high to pay as a store. It's like, yes, I don't disagree with you. However, at the same time, it's only for certain ones, and for titles like Pokemon, overpaying a little bit, not that big of an issue. Most titles you're looking at like 10 to 20% cash and like 20 to 30% store credit. I know some places that will even drop it even further if they have too much of it. Oh, it's always an investment. I just get a kick out of it when I get these Facebook resellers that come trade all their stuff in because they couldn't continue doing it anymore. And they're sitting there telling me how, they don't understand why stuff's so expensive. And it's like, that would be because of you. And unfortunately, I just don't think people really comprehend economics. Like, obviously, it's supply and demand. If you get a bunch of these random people offering a supply on Facebook and eBay, and they're not having to pay for anything in addition to it, then people may not take it to the actual store. Then you have to tell the customer, I'm sorry, I don't have it in stock. Or you have to sell it for more so that way you can pay more for it. Where did I put my Mio drops? But I honestly think once, things start rolling back out and people are like, oh shit, this is what's been going on, that they'll listen. Like, I've been telling people for years, if you buy games digitally, yeah, it's cool and all, but you don't actually own it. Like, at any given point in time, if they lose the licensing for that game, you know, they will probably try to revoke it from you somehow. And they're like, ah, no, they can't do that. That would be illegal. It's like, well, that's what they're gonna do. And they're like, nah, they wouldn't do that. Then, like, last year, the whole thing with Discovery Channel and PlayStation happened. And people were like, oh my god, you know, what the hell? How could they do this? And it's like, I mean, I told you. Then they turn around even further, and then they start complaining, and they're like, so if you buy digital, you don't actually own what you pay for. And it's like, yes, I have been saying this for like 10 to 15 years now. Welcome to the real world. People are just silly, and they will never listen to the guy that the industry itself affects, but they'll listen to the random dude on YouTube who says something. After the fact has already happened. Like, the random guy on YouTube never tells people in advance, by the way, when you're doing this, you do this. It's always after something happens that they're like, oh yes, and by the way, don't forget. It's like, and you want to listen to that guy? Come on. And of course, we have another broken HDMI. Did I test that this would power on? Nope. Why? Because I forgot. Am I gonna bother? Nope. Am I gonna hope and pray that's just HDMI? Yep. That was right. I should probably drink water, but I don't want to. And I filled this tube with flux, so I wouldn't have to use the tub. Still use the tub. I don't even know why I filled the tube with flux. Well, I know why I did it. I don't use it for that reason anyway. Ramble. Oh, that's 300, that's 450. Did I prep another HDMI port? No. Why? Because I forgot. Hi, vey. This is why I gotta do repairs during the day, man. Although, to be fair, my brain is probably more scattered during the day than it is during night, so who knows. HDMI port. You know, I remember when people used to go through and they're like, oh yeah, no, I have a superior quality port because my port is silver, where your port is gold. Your gold port is obviously the cheaper stuff. And it's like, nowadays with so much information out there, it's like, that just means that your port came pre-tinned, right? Which actually is not really better. I personally prefer my ports to be non-tinned because I prefer tin with leaded solder, whereas manufacturers tend to tin with unleaded solder. Unflavored water. Blech. Okay, let's check those pins. All the flux. Did I use a lot of flux? Yep. Do I care? Nope. Nope. And all of the pins are good to go. Yay! Like next year, I'd also like to learn how to make liquid metal, because I think it would be fun to have my own brand of liquid metal. I'd also like to talk to who makes MX4, Arctic Silver, Yeah, Arctic. About getting white label branded thermal paste. Or maybe look into making thermal paste too. Who knows, that's all way in the future stuff. Yeah, but what's the ratio? What's the best ratio to get it to transfer heat best without becoming a pure liquid? It's like, I looked it up once, it's like 2 or 3 materials with gallium mixed in it. It's gallium, silver, and something else, I think. No, not silver. Maybe silver. I don't remember. Now that you said something I'll never remember. I'll have to look it up. But, you know, that's all stuff in the future. I got way too much stuff on my plate right now to even really fathom, I guess. Even trying to do something like that. You know, I was supposed to do like a review on the liquid metal with coder stuff. I keep forgetting to do so. But so far none of my PS5s that I've used his liquid metal on have come back. So, you know, there's at least that. I think my glove's been compromised. I just found 2 little dry spots of liquid metal. Now, if you could find me what these ESD non-conductive foam pads are, that would be cool. I was working with someone once who said they found them. I can't remember who it was. Did we repair it, or did I fuck it up? Everyone's favorite game show game. I had a disk inside. Hey Mike, how's the trader doing? And look, wiggle test. HDMI no flicker. Good HDMI. Jeez, I'm sorry, man. That is a loud disk drive. Friday food tastes good though. So, I'm with you on that one. It would be a little contradictory for me to tell you to stop eating fatty food as I sit here eating chocolate and caramel covered popcorn. Or kettle corn, I should say. Because zebra corn. Huh, selling fish. Not bad. Man, what time is it? 12:40. Hmm. Wow. Pokemon Yellow without even a battery installed. Come on now. Why we gotta do that? Ah. Alright. See you later. Hope you rest well, mate. Now that's a bit messed up. Right out of the gate, this battery is supposedly dead. No wait, I'm on AC. I should be checking DC voltage, right? Yeah, 3.3 DC. Whew. Not to play a save bet or save for this later. 3.3. So that should be just fine. Sapphire, a yellow. I've got a yellow already available. They should be here Monday. Is there any soldering braid that you get sooner than that? Now they'd all show up next week. Alright, what has repair number 5671 got to do with anything? I'm gonna try waking up in the morning actually. Alright. Thank you guys for hanging out for an hour and some on meds. Appreciate ya. Hope you all rest well. Thank you all for attending the stream. Good night. Hey, 8-Bit. Didn't see you there. Lurking. Later, Machina. I'm gonna try. Hopefully I'll be back in a couple of hours. Did you at least like the video, 8-Bit? Or are you gonna lurk and not like? See you guys.